Have you ever received a gift that was so thoughtful it left you speechless? Well, today we're going to unpack a story just like that. We're diving into a 900-year-old Korean poem that was written about a simple gift of tea. But trust me, this poem holds some incredible, timeless wisdom about what real leadership and respect look like. Okay, so to really get this story, we've got to start with the object at the very heart of it all. We're talking about a very, very special type of tea that was way more than just a drink. So take a look at this. This is an illustration of what was known as dragon tea, or Yongda in Korean. Back in the 12th century, this wasn't something you could just go out and buy. No way. It was this rare, precious gift, a compressed cake of tea leaves that was reserved only for royalty and the absolute highest members of society. Right, what's the big deal? To really understand just how valuable this was, we need to look at a poem. It was written by a scholar who was just blown away with gratitude after getting this gift directly from his king. The poem itself tells the whole story. All right, let's get into the poem itself and see how the author, a scholar named Gwak Yeo, describes this incredible moment. We're going to break it down line by line. Now, a lot of the words here are based on Hanja, which are Korean characters that originally came from Chinese. For each one, we'll look at the Korean pronunciation, which is called the im, and its English meaning, the thit. It's going to be fun. The very first line describes the tea itself. You see, it wasn't loose leaves. It was this dense, compressed cake, and it had an incredibly detailed dragon design pressed right into it. Just picture that for a second. All that power and prestige packed into this small, humble little cake. And this is where it gets really cool. You can see how the language itself builds this amazing picture piece by piece. We have Sung and Gak, which come together to mean double-horned. Then you've got Ban and Young, giving us that image of a winding dragon. And finally, So and Dan describe the small cake it enters. It's like building the image with word bricks. Okay, so the second line tells us where this tea came from. And this is important. It's not just any tea. It was harvested from a specific, famous mountain region at the absolute perfect time of year. This really hammers home how pure it is and the incredible care that went into getting it. And again, the characters just paint the scene for us. Chaksan tells us the exact origin, the Shu Mountains in China's Sichuan province, which was famous for its quality. But my favorite part is Chanhan. It literally translates to spring cold. You can just feel that crisp, clean air of an early harvest. This isn't just tea, it's the very soul of spring, proving its quality is completely unmatched. Now this line, this is a game changer. The poem makes this dramatic shift. It moves from describing the object, the tea, to describing this unbelievable action by the king himself. This is the real heart of the poem. This right here is the crucial moment. Look at these characters. We have So-yu, which means the royal hand. But then the poet adds the character Chin, which means personally. The king didn't just have a servant bring it over. He personally turned, lifted, and presented the tea. In the super rigid hierarchy of the court, this was an almost unbelievable gesture of respect. And so, the final line is the poet's response, his feeling of gratitude. He connects the king's gift and this profound act of respect to this feeling of universal peace and balance. The gesture itself has turned a simple cup of tea into something almost spiritual. The poet uses this really beautiful, natural imagery to describe what he's feeling. You have rogi, or dewy essence, which gets at the pure taste of the tea. Then there's chanyeong, heavenly fragrance, which probably refers to the rich incense that was often burned in the palace. For the poet, these two sensations, brought together by the king's action, create ilban, one harmony. The king's simple act has put the whole world into balance for him. Okay, so now that we really understand the incredible depth of this poem, from the tea to the king's action, you're probably wondering, who were these two men? Who was this king, and who was the scholar he honored so deeply? So here they are, the two figures at the center of our story. On one side, you have King Yeojang, a really progressive ruler who was deeply invested in knowledge and culture. He even set up royal libraries. And on the other side, you have Gwak Yeo, the dedicated, brilliant scholar he chose not just as an advisor, but as his personal teacher. This context is absolutely key. So you see, this gift of tea wasn't just a simple thank you or some routine royal favor. No, this was a powerful statement about their relationship, about their roles, and about the ideal way a kingdom should work. Let's just go back to that crucial line one more time, because its meaning is so much deeper than just pouring tea. This is the moment where everything just clicks into place. You have to understand, in the strict social structure of the court, for a king who was basically considered a divine figure, to personally serve his subject, well, that was a massive symbol. It showed his humility and his deep, genuine respect for wisdom and for the counsel his teacher gave him. So the tea itself becomes this perfect metaphor. Its rarity, well, that reflects how precious the king's favor is. Its purity, harvested from the cold of spring, mirrors the pure integrity of their relationship and the king's noble intentions. And the act of giving it, personally and humbly, shows what true leadership really is. So, why does all this matter to us? It's a beautiful 900-year-old story about a king and some tea. What can it possibly teach us about our own lives today? Well, the poem basically gives us a blueprint. It shows that a great leader isn't someone who just barks orders from on high. A great leader, like King Yejong, values wisdom and shows real appreciation. And in turn, a great advisor or employee like Gwak Yeo responds to that respect with deep loyalty and dedicated service. It's a two-way street. Ultimately, when you boil it all down, the poem is arguing that when a leader's generosity and an advisor's loyalty are perfectly in sync, when grace is met with gratitude, it creates a harmony that benefits everyone. The whole becomes so much greater than the sum of its parts. And that's really the final thought I want to leave you with. In our world of quick emails, texts, and instant messages, how can we create our own dragon tea moments? How can we show that kind of deep recognition and respect in a way that truly matters, whether it's at work, with our own mentors, or even in our families?